Charlie, I said I'd come back to this question. This was about something that you do like as an investment. Ami Patel from Montreal, Quebec, writes in that you love Costco. So what do you think can hurt Costco's economic moat in the long term?
Well, as long as Costco keeps the faith with its strong culture and their extreme low markup policy, I don't see any stopping it. The trouble with Costco is it's 40 times earnings. But except for that, it's a perfect damn company. And it has a marvelous future. And it has a wonderful culture, and it's been run by wonderful people. And I love everything about Costco. I'm a total addict. And I'm never going to sell a share.
All right, this next question comes from Karsten Federoff, who's an equity analyst from Germany. And his question is, stock-based compensation is a popular means of incentive compensation in many companies. In some cases, these take on alarming proportions. It feels like companies are competing to outbid each other. In some companies, 20% of sales are paid out in stock-based compensation. How do you perceive this development in recent years, and what's a healthy level of incentives?
Well, I think you will find in American corporations very good incentive systems, and others that are too liberal, and others that are too niggardly. And what else would you expect of human nature but a certain amount of variety? And I agree that some of this, in many a corporation, everybody would vote to being allowed to have stock-based compensation. You didn't count it in computing the earnings. They just want any damn way of making the earnings appear higher. It's just human nature. Of course they want it's like your little kid goes off to school, they want to bring in good grades, not bad grades. And so it's sure, there's a big problem of excess corporation pay in some places. Other places, like Costco, I would say the compensation system is damn near perfect. And there's a fair amount of stock, but we always buy in enough stock in Costco to pay for the stock we're issuing. A lot of people in high tech, they issue the stock and they don't buy it in, so it's a net dilution. I think there's a lot that's wrong in American compensation systems. But why wouldn't there be? Yeah. By the way, when I was young, it wasn't so bad.
Why?
This is something that's happened in the last 50 years.
Arthur Kahn writes in, and he's a Daily Journal shareholder who lives in Toronto. And he says, Mr. Munger, while many of us admire you and look up to you, I want to ask, who were some of the people you most admired and looked up to? What was it about them that made them so special?
Well, some of the best people, I would argue that Jim Sinegal at Costco was about as well adapted for the executive career he got. Now, by the way, he didn't go to Wharton, he didn't go to the Harvard Business School. He started work at age 18 in a store, and he rose to be CEO at Costco. In effect, he was a founder under a man named Saul Price. And I would argue that what he accomplished in his own lifetime was one of the most remarkable things in the whole history of business, in the history of the world. Jim Sinegal, in his life. He's still very much alive, but he had one business throughout his whole life, basically. And he just got so damn good at it. There was practically nothing he didn't understand, large or small. And there aren't that many Jim Sinegals. And I'll tell you somebody else, for a job of the kind he has, Greg Abel, in a way, is just as good as Greg Sinegal was. Yeah, he has a kind of a genius for the way he handles people and so forth and problems. And I can't tell you how I admire somebody that has enough sense to kind of run these utilities as though he were the regulator. He's not trying to pass on the cost because he can do it. He's trying to do it the way he'd want it done if he were the regulator instead of the executive. Well, of course, that's the right way to run a utility. But how many are really run that way? So there's some admirable business people out there, and I've been lucky to have quite a few of them involved in my life. The guy who ran TTI was a genius. TTI is a Berkshire subsidiary.
Yeah.
You Daily Journal people would think how lucky you'd be if we still had our monopoly on publishing our cases or something. We'd be like TTI. Well, TTI has just marched from triumph to triumph. And it was run by a guy, he got fired and created the business.
Please like and subscribe. Thank you.